We're back out of the concrete slab. It has been a week since we had friends help us pour this bad boy, and it looks absolutely awesome. We are definitely in need to get the forms off and do some relief cuts today. Hopefully we can get to that. And soon enough, we are going to be erecting the actual Quonset Hut building. We have some rental equipment planned that we're going to pick up. That's going to help us get those arches up. And it's also going to help us just tidy up the finish since we did have a few little marks on the pad itself. Eric and I have a lot to clean up today, so we're going to get started.
Do you want to work the drill and start unscrewing everything, or do you want to start pulling stuff out?
Okay, let's do this.
If I can get all my screws, let's see.
Isn't this like the real thing, the big reveal? Isn't that what they call it?
So far so good. We have gotten off one of the 2x4 forms off the top, and you can see where the actual foam is, and the foam is going to stay on here. So what we're doing is removing all of the wood, and it's going pretty good. Some of the screws have gotten a little cement in them, so they're kind of hard to get off. They strip out and I have to just pull them out of the wood, but this is going to take a while. I don't know how many screws we use, but it's a lot. So let's keep going.
Not bad.
Oh, I had that one like an angle for some reason. That's what it was. Well, we have revealed the foam right down here, and we kind of ran into some issues when we were putting up these forms on how to get this foam to stay here. So what we did is we took 3-inch screws and we screwed the foam from the inside into the form. We pulled the screws right through. You can see these holes that it kind of created. There's one there, and we got another one up here. They're just small holes where the screw head pulled through. We had a lot of suggestions to put washers on the inside to kind of hold the foam into place. That is a good idea if we weren't going to pull the head through. So we pulled the head through. They came out very nicely. The whole entire side is done. And what we're going to do now is we're going to work on the keyway. And this is the part we don't know how this is going to go. So the keyway is this section right here. It's kind of a groove in the channel. This one's holding a bunch of water right now. We built our keyway out of OSB, a 12-inch piece, and then 2x4 stacked up. What we're going to do is we're going to go along and just tap it with a hammer. We're hoping that this pulls out as easy as these forms did on the outside, but we will see. So I think if I can get underneath it. Pretty sure that. See it? It's a little tight, you know what I mean? So, but it's coming
But
out.
they're red, so that should be advantageous because they are soggy and destroyed. So that should be advantageous.
Yeah, got a 6-foot section out. Oh my gosh.
That is a lot of water. Oh, that is getting that out with no problem. Now that you got one, yes.
Woo!
Cool.
Okay.
Do you want to broom it?
And there. What happened there?
We're moving right along. The channels look awesome. There is 2 voids, but that's not a big deal because it is going to be, the end walls are going to be grouted in, so you won't actually see this. Plywood, we could not reclaim it, sadly. It was too wet and soppy. We've had kind of quite a bit of rain, like on and off, so that's okay. We can't keep that. It got destroyed. We got a good system to get it out, but everything else from the project we can keep or get back. And everything from here is just downhill. We have put in so much work to this point and we're just thrilled with the way it looks. I know it's not perfect, but we're amazed by it. And this is probably gonna take us the rest of the day. I'm not quite sure if we're gonna get to the relief cuts, but like I said, we're just really excited to be at this point. Eric, the gnats have
What's up with these gnats and ants out here?
It's a cloud of them. It's a
what is
swarm.
going on?
You're being taken.
This turned out absolutely awesome. This is the PEX where it comes out of the ground. We have 8 runs of PEX, each of them are 300 feet. We have 4 extra conduits that pop out the side here. That's gonna be for electrical. And we suspended them with this 4x4 that we're gonna try to get out of there. It looks good. We have the pipe tape on the pipes. The concrete met it right there. And we also pressurized the system before we poured. So I think I put 40 pounds in there and we're still at 40 pounds right now. So we didn't wanna have a leak while we were pouring concrete, and if we did have a leak, we would see bubbles and we could scrape out the concrete and we could splice in a new piece, but everything went good. Really happy with the way this turned out. Let's get these forms pulled off there. There it is. Nice. So we have a 6-inch wall. That'll come to right here. And that leaves you a good 5 or 6 inches.
You know, at this point, it's just like it's final, so there's no changes.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
Just rip it all off.
Where'd it go?
Oh my gosh. Ah, he's gone. Oh, sorry, that was
Well, we are completely exhausted. It is such a hot day today, and Alaska is a huge state and has all these different climates, and the one that we moved to, this new property, turned out to be extremely hot and dry in the summer, which we actually kind of like, but we're just getting through the day as good as we can. We got the drain finished, well, close to finished. I ended up having to pretty much demolish it with a crowbar and get these forms out, but we got them out. We're gonna kind of come back to this later when we cut our grate and finish this thing off. The keyway on that side, it came out pretty easy, but I don't know what happened. I don't know if the concrete was drier or it was just towards the end of the day and we were tired. I don't know, but there's a lot of voids in that one. So some pretty thick ones. We're actually gonna have to patch those with concrete before we put the Quonset Hut up. So we're gonna change the plans around a little bit. We're gonna wait on cutting our relief cuts, and when we go to pick up our rental, which is in a couple days, we're gonna pick up a couple bags of concrete and we're gonna smooth that out. Not a big deal. We'll have to give that time to dry before we cut our relief cuts, because the relief cuts, it shoots a bunch of water everywhere. We're gonna do some cleanup around here. It is just like a mess. It looks like a war zone out here. We have used so much wood and screws and stakes for this project, so we gotta get it all cleaned up and organized and put away. And tomorrow we're taking a break. We're going fishing, and then Tuesday, which is 2 days away, we're gonna go pick up the scissor lift rental and we're gonna start hopefully putting up the arches.
So this is a really cool piece of wood here. I'm gonna let you guess if you can remember what it came from, just judging by looking at it. Probably not. I don't know who in their right mind would be able to tell. What is this, black caulking?
The caulking. That's a dead giveaway.
It's a very old remnant, and it was something that didn't work out. I mean, it worked out, but anyways, it was used on this project too, so yeah, the screws are everywhere, hon. Ah! The slab is looking good. Eric and I are set up to do our relief cuts. He ran down to Fairbanks earlier and got the genie or the scissor lift for us. And I was out here marking the measurements where we're gonna make the relief cuts. It's gonna work out pretty well for us. We're gonna end up with like a 12 by 13 squares evenly spaced throughout the pad. And we're gonna have 2 cuts long ways and then 4 short ways. The purpose of the relief cuts is to give the concrete somewhere to crack. So concrete is really strong, but it's not very flexible. Usually cracks over time, you can pretty much guarantee it. So we're hoping that if it does crack, it will crack in the nice little straight lines that we have given it. It was a really hot day again today, but we had a lot of smoke, so it wasn't like blistering. The sun wasn't beating down on us or anything. We've waited a little bit later into the evening to make these cuts, so we're gonna see what we can get done tonight.
So when I started making that first cut, I literally sat there and thought to myself, how am I gonna cut this whole entire thing? That was probably, I don't know if it was the hardest part about this project. Every single thing has been really hard about this project, and this was no different. So when we did the sawmill slab, I think we waited like 3 days. This one, it's been like, I think like 10 days, and you can totally tell the difference. It's actually like throwing sparks. The concrete's way harder to cut through. I kind of wish we came out earlier and cut it a little sooner. It would have been a little easier on me. The slab is 6 inches thick, so we're trying to go down 1.5 inches, but the area I'm in right now, when we graded the land, it actually was a little deeper over here, so I went a little bit deeper on this side. The saw is running great. It's working great. It's really nice having the hose to be able to hook up to this. It just cuts down on the dust. There is no dust. You don't have to wear a face mask or anything, but we are done. I'm gonna put this saw away gladly, and we're gonna see if we can get things cleaned up out here. We might bring the pressure washer over and clean it up a little bit.
Hopefully it dries up by tomorrow. just doesn't make it stick a little bit. Because it's just going to chip out anyways. So I ended up with a little bit much. There you have it. We're all done with the patch up job. Eric did 2 small ones over there. That side really wasn't bad at all. This was the 3 we had with a little bit of rebar or wire mesh showing. And that's really why we needed to cover it up. I was concerned if water got in there and it sat in there and kind of compromised the concrete. But I also think that the rebar and the wire mesh is helpful to help kind of like attach this new concrete to the old or also new concrete, if that makes any sense. And I didn't mention it, but we're using 4,000 pound crack resistant concrete, so we wanted to match what we have currently. Next up, we've got to get the scissor lift off the trailer.
Never operated a scissor lift before, but it should be pretty easy. They go forward and turn around, and they go up and down. So this one weighs 2,700 pounds. The tractor can lift 2,700 pounds at the pins. So I doubt the tractor's gonna be able to lift this up. They loaded me up with the forklift. They stuck it on there. I'm gonna try to put the tractor on there. Maybe I can tilt the tractor back just enough to get the trailer out. If not, we're gonna have to figure something out. This scissor lift, if you can come over here, they have like absolutely no ground clearance. So it's like 2 fingers of ground clearance. So let's get it unchained and we'll try with the tractor and we'll go from there if we need to. I'd like to get that wheel off the ground a little more.
You're off the ground. Oh, you got it. Man, be so careful with your movements when you come off there.
The back wheels are coming off the ground.
I know, it's way heavy. Straight down. Did a lot of sketchy things.
Gosh, that was crazy.
I can't believe it lifted it.
I can't believe it did either. Okay, so we got a stop button. So let's go. Is that on? Oh my gosh.
Oh.
What is it doing?
Oh, she's mad. They didn't show you how to operate it?
No, he loaded it on the truck, and then by the time I got done with paperwork, he was like gone, and I was like, well.
Oh, dang it. There's instructions I'm sure on this thing.
I guess the first thing you do is you gotta see how high you can go, right?
No. Do you feel like dying?
Well, we're not gonna need to go higher than that, so.
Whoa, watch out for you.
All right, that took about 2 seconds. We're ready to go. So I also think, look at this. Like there. And there. Today's the day. We've been waiting for this moment for a long time. We're actually gonna bust out the Quonset Hut. We're gonna see if we can put this thing together. And I think we have a plan for how we can get it up. It's just Arielle and I. It's 2 people. We've got the tractor, we've got this, we've got scaffolding, we've got some other things. I'm gonna get a few of our things ready and we're gonna start bringing the arches over here. Let's see if we can do this. All right, I also need some water or something. Okay.
Do you know how many bolts are in the project?
I don't, but it's no joke, it's thousands. All right, let's see if it says how many are in here. That's a sad number.
That's just one bucket.
It says 1,500 pieces. Yeah, so it's 750 nuts.
Times 6?
750, what is this? Nuts. So that's 1,500 nuts. Oh my gosh, look at that.
Yeah, but there's 6 of them. That is 70 pounds? Oh! Whoa. Is it more than that? Is it 80? Where am I taking them?
We don't need those ones.
Okay, all right, that's cool.
Just set them right there.
I don't remember which way the... Like that. Oh, like that? That's yep. Towards the outside? Okay.
Yeah, go over it.
Yeah.
And then this one will go over it.
Do you want me to maybe hold it up for you on the other side? They fit together nicely.
Got 2 for you.
Where? I usually don't this for. You know what I mean? Halfway
Other
through.
side. Well, here's our tactic. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put together almost half of it on one side and then the other half on the other side, and you have multiple different pieces. So these are called the roof panels. We're gonna have 2 of these on each side. This is called the eave panel. This is called the wall panel. We have one more panel that's sitting over there, and that's the one at the absolute top, and that's called the peak panel. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a little cradle system I devised on the tractor. That top piece, we're not gonna use that one. I gotta grab one that'll fit around these, and we're gonna lift this side up with the tractor, kind of leave it suspended, and then we're gonna lift the other side, hopefully with the scissor lift, leave it suspended, and then I'm gonna go up there with the peak panel that connects the 2, and we'll see if we can get that bolted in. I don't know if this is gonna work, but we're gonna try it. It's just so wobbly. All right, so yeah, this is the wrong piece.
Look at that channel, though.
Man, this thing's a lot taller than I thought it was going to be.
What do you mean? That's not even... I'm trying to see if that's a good spot for the scissor lift, or if you need to come this way more. Yeah, I think your bolts are going to get stuck. You need to have them through the bolts. You can put the bolts there. There.
This is sketchy. Oh my gosh.
I say you get that other toad on it.
Huh?
You got to get that other toad on it. We brought this arch down, the one that we first put up, and we're going to be putting 2 totes on it. It's just not high enough to get the peak to where we need it, and we're kind of struggling a little bit with like the pieces of equipment we have, in the sense that we don't have enough pieces of equipment. So Eric's getting some scaffolding out, and we're going to try and use that too to either support one of the arches or possibly help him with getting the peak on. And I think once we get that first peak completed and that first arch, you know, done, things should go a little bit smoother and we should have more stability. Right now, the concern is that these are semi-wobbly, so we're just a little concerned about that if they didn't have the support. We knew that day 1 was going to be the hardest, so hopefully we can get through this and figure it out.
Round two, we are just busting everything out. So we got the trailer on here, scissor lift. We put an extra tote on the tractor to get the arch a little bit higher. It just wasn't gonna go high enough for us. What else did we bring? We got the scaffolding. We're going to strap that down to the trailer. I don't know what's going on here. I'm hoping that the first arch is the hardest and it's just gonna be like really easy after that. Probably not.
Are you like trying to be a viper? Like a snake? I can't. I'm working out. Well, good thing you did the other one. Pocket or something?
Yes. It's not more than that, I think. Yeah, I got it, I got it.
I don't think I can.
Ready?
Up and over, up and over.
Okay.
Backward.
We hold one in. Keep going, keep going. Jump it forward a little.
Whoa, that's perfect. Can I yank it?
Yeah. Let me know when you're ready. One,
yeah.
2, 3.
Your bungee's like holding it too
It's
tight.
not bungees, it's just heavy. Let me. What do you mean? Don't get no better than that.
They'd all be done. That could be better.
Rub the genie. We got it up. That was, man, that was crazy. I started that just like with the relief cuts that I was doing yesterday, and I was like, how are we going to get this up? It is so much taller than I thought. So our blueprints and everything, it says 17-foot peak, and I was like, oh, that's pretty good, but that is like extremely high. But we have it up there. The only issue we're having right now is it's pretty heavy, and if the tractor sits there for a while with a heavy load on it, the hydraulics will bleed out, so the forks will kind of like slowly lower down. So I tried to put some 2x6s sticking straight up to hold that. The scissor lift, that's doing awesome. We couldn't have done it without that. And what we're gonna do next is we're gonna take some of the wall panels, which is those short little walls right there, and I think we're just gonna bolt a few on. I don't think we're gonna do what we just did where we built half of it and then lifted it up, because the tractor has to stay there and the scissor lift have to stay there. So we're gonna try to just build onto these and we'll see if that works out.
Nice weather here.
Seriously, that's nuts and bolts, huh?
Yeah, they're pretty legit, man. Oh shoot! Do you want me to move those nuts? Hold on. Do you want me to help you?
Thanks. With fridge. Okay, I said.
We are doing a great job.
Yeah. You got it?
I think so.
You got a bolt and a screw? What does that mean?
I got a bolt and a nut. Sorry.
See up and over?
Okay, hold on. Shingle effect, so go let it sit in there, right?
Okay.
Sure? Why isn't it screwing it on?
What do you mean? You got to start it, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, but I actually had it started and then turned it off. I still got it. I still got it. You got it? Yeah. Woohoo! 2 arches! We only have 30 to do. So this is 2 down, 28 to go.
What was that?
Well, at this point, I know it may be hard to believe it, but we actually have 2 full arches up, minus just a few bolts and nuts. You can see them behind me. And our biggest issue yesterday was just kind of like coming up with a game plan, and it took us hours just to get these 2 up. Our biggest problem was kind of having to like hop around from piece of equipment to equipment because we did not feel comfortable leaving the arches. Even right now, it's a little bit sketchy. I think once we get like 3 or 4, we'll feel more like we can remove the equipment. So earlier today, Eric did some bracing and it seems pretty stable. We got the Genie out of there. I think once the Genie is free like it is now and we can get the tractor out of there so it's not in the way, we will be rocking and rolling and be able to get this done a lot faster out here. They say the first few arches are really the most time consuming, so we only have the rental for a few days and we really need to get this done. So we didn't explain it before, but you do kind of a shingle effect when you're putting these up. So you can either do one full arch and then put up another arch, or you can do it where you like kind of put up segments, but you just need to make sure that each segment above it and in front of it overlaps the next part so the rain will shed down. You also want to keep all your bolts loose. That's something that the Quonset huts are known for when you're assembling them, is to keep all the bolts loose until you're done, and then you come back and you have to tighten all of them. So you kind of have to do them twice. Last night we tried to get some of the equipment out of here, but it didn't work out. We were kind of really running on fumes. We worked till 11 p.m. So this morning, Eric's figured out a pretty good solution. We have quite a few supports in there, and I think we're about to pull the tractor out, and hopefully we can really boogie down and get some stuff done today. You want me to hold it in position? And
yeah,
you can...
you gotta hold it this way.
Hold on.
Well, I've kind of given up on, I guess, planning the progress we're gonna have each day. It's been all day and we just got 1 arch up. I don't know what's going on. We got the Genie out this morning. I thought we were just gonna be whizzing around doing it, but as we were getting more arches up, this thing is just getting like really unstable. So we tried to build a half section and lift it up with the tractor. That ate up like at least 2.5 hours and it didn't work. So that's sitting over there. We went back to just putting them up piece by piece. We finally finished this 1 arch, and then I put some T-bracing. We got one right here, and this just goes down to the ground. The T-bracing works a lot better. This one up here just is just a regular piece of wood, and that just sticks up in 1 arch. But what is happening is with this, the back of the Quonset hut is higher, but the front part, like that arch we just put up, is kind of like leaned in. So now we're gonna use some of the lumber left over from the forms, and I think we're gonna build some more of those T-forms, maybe just like one really big one for the center. We put that one in on that side and it's like extremely solid now. One of the main problems we're running into is this huge trailer sitting right here. So you can only get to so much with the little scissor lift. We wanna get this trailer out of here. So I think we're gonna pull it out of here maybe. We're gonna get some things moved around and we'll see what happens. Oh.
It looks completely straight. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but was this piece always bowed? Do you want me to look? That looks really nice.
Huh?
That looks really nice.
Yeah. I got our tool belts for us. So we each have nuts and bolts. We'll each have a tool.
You're not messing around today.
Thank you. I'm starving.
Efficiency is the name of the game.
Thank you, honey. Let's eat. Whoa.
Eric means serious business this morning. We've got muffins, we've got sunshine, but do we have good attitudes? That is the question. The answer is yes, at least now at the beginning of the day. We need to get a lot of arches done today. Eric's thinking like only 5. I'm really hoping for like 8 to 10. So we'll see what we get done. But you know what they say, put your money where your mouth is. So we're gonna get to work. Sure you're okay working on the sun today versus the shade?
Man, they line up really well right here now.
Lining up great.
Another day on the Quonset Hut. Yesterday, we kind of got into more of a routine. We were averaging an arch every 2 hours, and we got 5 done. I'm pretty sure with everything else we were doing out here, from building more of these little T-brackets and everything, we worked like a 14 or 15 hour day. This morning, we got a little bit of a different tactic over here on this side. We decided to just put all of these, I can't remember what these are called right now, but we put all these ones up now. We put 4 of them up. And I think that's gonna make things easier. The Genie was already over here, so I figured instead of like going back and forth on the Genie a bunch of times, let's just keep it here, put all these up, we'll put it on the other side, put all those up, and then we'll work on the roof. Let's see how it pans out. I'm pretty sure putting these 4 up, that only took us about an hour. So I think we're doing pretty good today.
I know they look like they wouldn't be an eave. I call them corner pieces.
Yeah. Eave panel, wall
Sidewall.
panel, roof panels, peak panel.
Peak.
Coming to get you.
Okay.
Oh yes, I'm going for rage.
I go up now.
Would you recommend that anyone else builds one of these?
I mean, if you're willing to just like get to the part where it's done, then yeah. You know what I mean? It's pretty sweet now.
What is it hitting? Alright, let's plug the Genie in. Move the supports over a little bit.
It's end of day 5 of working on the Quonset Hut, and Eric and I persevered. We made it through. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. We are a little bit past, actually we're closer to the 2/3 mark of the Quonset Hut, but we did surpass the halfway mark earlier today, which is a huge milestone for us. 3 days ago, things were hectic. We had all the equipment in here. We were hopping around from each thing, and I feel like once we got that out and we had 4 arches done, the whole thing just became way easier. Today and yesterday have actually been fairly pleasant. Before then, it was not fun or pleasant, so that's just being honest. But we both knew that we had to get this done because we want the Quonset Hut built and no one else is gonna build it for us. So you just gotta be tough and get through it. Going into it, we knew that at some point the structure would become more stable. And for us, that was really like the 4th arch mark. And we had a lot of wind yesterday, but this structure was so stable by then, it didn't even matter. We were up there working on it still. A lot of what's been so helpful now is that Eric has really done a lot of like thinking how to make this the most efficient, because we were not efficient at all up until yesterday, but we are just like flying now. He's got these supports in here that he moves along. 2 of them he's kind of moving along, and what that does is it helps the structure stay more stable where we're working on it, because it does kind of lean down at the edge. We've got our tool belts, which really helps so we don't have to be running around grabbing all the bolts and the nuts. And we also are doing things just like in a quicker manner. We started doing 4 end panels at the same time, if that makes any sense. And when we go up on the Genie, we're sticking to like one side at a time rather than having to go all the way around. And if we can, we'll take 2 or even 3 panels up there at the same time, because this just cuts down on time. And before we were at 2 hours per arch, whereas now we're only taking an hour for each arch. And it's a little bit different how we're doing it. We're kind of staggering it, as you can see. So it's not necessarily 1 arch at a time, but that's about what we're averaging. So really, really good. And we'll definitely be done in another 2 days, which is absolutely fantastic. So thanks to Eric for making that happen, because it was getting pretty drab out here, but I'm feeling good about it. And we're gonna celebrate tonight with dinner. We're gonna cook some dinner out on the pad in the half-built Quonset Hut.
Well, here we go. The first time cooking in the new shop. It's not fully enclosed, but we're cooking out here anyways, and we are doing sockeye salmon encrusted or crusted with some coconut shreds, and we're gonna do a little bit of lime on top. Arielle's got some sweet potato fries cooking inside the cabin. Let's get this salmon grilling. That looks good. So we're gonna squeeze a little bit of lime on top of these, and Arielle's got something pretty special to drink to go along with this.
Doesn't that look good? We're going to head over to the Genie and take it to the top. I have some fermented lemonade that's been stewing for about a week. And it also has some green tea and mint in there, so figured that would go accordingly. How about I crouch down while you go up, so safety. Perfect, just in time for the sunset. Looks good.
We're about 17 feet, almost maxing out the Genie.
A little bit wobbly, that's okay. We're gonna enjoy dinner, and we will see you on the next one when we're back out here working on the Quonset Hut.
I don't think I've ever had coconut crusted salmon, so let's give this a try. That's like the belly right there.
I think it only qualifies as a crust. I don't know if it's actually like encasing it, you know?
That's a crust.
They may just be like a coating.
It's really good,
dusting.
but honestly, you don't taste much coconut. It's really good.